So the big question is this. How entrepreneurs like us who have been breaking with old beliefs, like the idea of holding a 9-to-5 job and living paycheck to paycheck, taking a lifetime to reach business and life success as the only option we have? How do we grow our business in a way that lets us highly service our customers, getting our products and services and the things that we believe in out into the world without diluting our life but enhancing it and taking the journey of internal and external growth? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. Your host is Marina Simon, and welcome to 10 Exit. Life and business as usual? Never again.
Hi guys! Well, I am very excited to tell you that we are back with Ellen Firestone. Reason why, there is many areas that we didn't cover on the last interview, and I thought that it would be super interesting to listen to her, and really dig in it. Because there's things that she has done that they weren't touched, like, she's an awardee of the Presidential Human Rights Award, and we did not touch it on the last interview, and many other things, and what got her into the path of what she has been doing. So here we are with my beautiful friend, Ellen Firestone.
Thanks, Marina. Nice to be back.
It's awesome to have you. So guys, we are in the middle of a park, so if you listen to the birds chirping, just know we are here outside. It is a beautiful day. So, okay, now I wanted to ask you regarding your path. What is the one thing you wish you would have done differently before you began this career?
Well, I think we touched on this a little bit last time, and I had mentioned that, I wish I would have had more of a plan, like a little bit more of a map, and done more reflection on myself and my personality, my true abilities, and, came up with maybe a direction that was more aligned with that. I mean, I don't regret anything that I've done, because I think you do end up getting there one way or the other. But I think if I would have done some of this initial planning and reflection, it may have happened a little faster.
Wow. So then let me ask you something. How many years have you been working on this path on human rights?
Well, let's say for the human rights, I've been doing about 12 years. I think I mentioned last time my career began in accounting, believe it or not. And what was funny, I was looking back when I was doing my bachelor's degree, one of the very last courses that I did, it was called Career Management, and you did an actual personality assessment. And I remember turning it into the professor, and she looked at me and she goes, "You're an accountant?" And I was like, well, not really, but that's what I studied all these years. I know it doesn't quite match my personality, but it ended up being, a great start. Like I said in the last time that, with accounting, you could basically get into any industry, and, even in the nonprofit world, every organization needs to know their finances. But then, it did enable me to move on then to other parts of the organization, which was really great. So, initially didn't quite match my personality, but I did well at it, and, have no regrets there, but maybe would have taken a few years off, getting into, an area that I really thrived in.
Wow, that is really good. And, you touch on a point that I just want to ask you, so, our audience can listen to this. So, do you think, from your own observation and from the things you've lived in life, it is important when you start taking into consideration your personality, what does make your heart sing, what things or activities do you see, like, in life you like what kind of word will you give to our audience about that? Like, if they're starting the career, well, I think we're going to cover that in a following question. But is there anything just for now that you will consider is important to consider when somebody's starting?
Yeah, I mean, I think you touched on some really great questions there. And I have had young people who maybe just were graduating high school come to me and say, hey, can I talk to you? I'm not sure what I want to do. And, it is kind of, something that I think should be covered in our schools, getting people connected more to their purpose, or something at least that more aligns with things they like, their personality, their abilities. Because, that if you look at the human right to education, it actually is part of that. And it doesn't typically happen in our schools. I don't think, no one ever talked to me about it. I know that when I was in school. So, and, no one even talks to you like that you have a purpose, and maybe you have multiple purposes, but, the discussion typically isn't even had. I was lucky that I did this course, like I said, for my bachelor's degree in career management, where someone actually did start taking a look at personality at least. And then, just saw immediately like, wow, I don't know that your personality quite fits accounting, but, and not that you can't do something different, but wow, what a great career if you're more aligned with who you are, and the basic thing, I think, Socrates used to say, know thyself, when you're more aligned, with who you are and the career you pick, I would bet your life is better. You're going to be thriving, whatever the work is that you're doing. And we spend so much time doing it that, why not be fully alive doing it?
That's right. I love it. Okay. Next question. What is one of the biggest things that impinged the most in your career, and what did you learn from it?
Well, I worked early on in a very, large corporation, AT&T, and it was a really, great company. And what I liked about it is I was able to stay there and learn all kinds of different things. I didn't have to leave the company to go do a different kind of work. So, I was in accounting, and then, I did some work in material management, production control. Let's see what else. Oh, near the end of my career there, the CEO brought in some consultants because he wanted to improve customer service. And these consultants said to him, they did an assessment of what was going on, and they basically said, your problem isn't the people who are answering your phones. It's like deeper into your organization. And they suggested he talk with this other group about an actual culture transformation, which these consultants came in, and they had the company or people in the company apply to be part of this culture transformation group. So they were picking 30 employees, and I think there, we had 6 locations around the world, and maybe 8,000 employees, but you had to, apply if you were interested. So it was then that I think I found for myself that I had this passion for improving cultures and, helping to change things, so people were happier. And little did I know how this would then lead me down this path of the human rights education, because that is more a global scale of, helping improve the world culture. But changing cultures, improving cultures for people became a real passion of mine. And it was very cool.
That is awesome. So let me ask you something, because you touch into something that I think they will be interested on. So if they have a career path, but they find a passion that they want to do additional to that on helping or providing service, to their communities or to the people around them, is there a way to marry both things? Like, okay, you choose a career in accounting and maybe it wasn't the best aligned to your abilities and your social skills and your person skills that you have beautifully, but you align them. So do you want to talk a little bit about that? How can they do that? Or how do they know where to go, or what will be their passion? Maybe people say, well, I really don't know what I like. I've heard a lot that, right? Well, I don't know what career I want to follow. And then they go into a career and then they change it. And then, but can you align your basic purpose if you already are on a career path?
Sure. And, you might not know right up front, hey, oh, this is my basic purpose. I got it, because it may be this trial and error kind of thing. You know what you like. You can tell what brings you to life, or what sucks the life out of you, and, I think what's important, if you're on something, obviously we need to work, we need to make money because you need money to survive, in all aspects of life. But yeah, if it's a job that you're not really, really fully alive at, you might want to find something on the outside that does provide that for you. And then, I did that myself at one point in my career, and, started a second master's program in something that was more aligned to me. And just doing that extra in addition to the work made work so much better. And then you just keep moving and taking one step after the other and getting closer and closer and closer to those things that make your heart sing or bring you fully to life.
That's awesome. I love it. It's really, really practical because you already walk those steps. All right. So what other advice will you give to someone trying to do, or just starting out? Any other advice? I know we touched it already, but any other advice you want to give them?
I think just don't stop. I mean, in the last interview that we did, we talked about a person who I had worked with who was 93. And so you never stop. And every step you take, you get closer and closer and closer. And, to fulfill your purpose, and which then obviously helps, the people around you, your business, or even the world.
Thank you. I just have to add to this. If one thing Ellen has taught me is that no matter where you are in life, you can always do something about it to follow what's your purpose and passion. Because since I've met her, she hasn't stopped just creating it and has taught me a lot, about that. It is true, because one gets into the track of life and you forget and you go into, day-to-day work or whatever your responsibilities are. But that passion and that basic purpose is what lightens your soul. And if you take it off, life is different. So thank you so much. All right. So, lastly, I think we've talked about, it kind of ties into the new organization that you have just created, and something that I want to mention, and she, of course, is going to talk about it, but I love the phrase that she has under the name of her organization, or a slogan you could say: ignite your basic purpose, help create a fair and free world. So talk to us about your new organization and what is the name and why is that?
Okay, well, the name is thefirestone.org. That is the name of the website. And, I figured I would just use my name. Why come up with something else? But I looked up the definition of Firestone at one point, and it was, this, a stone that is used for starting fires. And, in this case, I used it to, say ignite your basic purpose. So just get started, basically, and then, help create a fair and free world. Originally, I was looking at Better World, but I wanted to be more specific because, better right now doesn't say a whole lot. So, let's create something that's, fair and free for everyone. And so that then takes into, knowing your human rights. The website has a lot of information about the 30 human rights. And there is likely one or more than one that will grab your attention or your heart, and get connected with that and find organizations that are doing something about it, and help them. And then taking the steps. Who knows where you'll end up? But I'm sure it will be somewhere phenomenal, and the world needs it. And it will help you as an individual, your family, your businesses, and the world. And the other thing that I was working on doing too is helping businesses connect to the human right that most aligns with their purpose, and then getting employees involved with either other organizations that support that human right, or creating their own community events and volunteer opportunities around that. So in a way, bringing, the employees together and bringing them to life, group, and again, helping their communities.
That's outstanding. Truly, before we end up, we're going to let you know where to find her online, but that website has so much value. She has several podcasts that are invaluable with several personalities in the area of human rights, as well as several of her blogs that are really interesting. And it's just really, really an outstanding area where to enlighten yourself on this area of life. And, I want to bring something up. She is a very humble individual, but I just want you to comment or tell us a little bit about it. How did it came about that you got awarded the Presidential Award on Human Rights? Was it in 2018, 2019?
Yes, it was in 2018, and it was for I guess a decade of work in educating people on human rights, and really it was done in many different ways. Talks even at the United Nations Constitution Center in Philly, schools, churches, recreation centers. It's basically wherever anyone would listen, I would talk to them about human rights and give them information about the 30 human rights and things that they could do. It was very nice, obviously, to be acknowledged, but the pay is actually, just being out there doing it and seeing either the teachers or the students and hearing them say, why didn't I ever learn about this? And I'm like, well, now.
That is awesome. So, is there anything else that you want to add to our interview? Is there any questions that you will have asked yourself that I didn't?
No, I guess just that, I want to reiterate that how important it is to get connected to your purpose and, just get out there and find those things that bring you to life. And you don't have to make it that something that you're getting paid for. Obviously, if you can align all that, all the better. But, just doing the work is pay in itself. And it obviously helps the world, and the world really needs it right now.
That's amazing. That's truly, truly amazing. I love it. Okay. So where can our listeners find you online? And I want you to describe it because, she might not want to talk about it, but she has a future program on how to help our listeners find their own basic purpose. That is something that is really, really valuable. And I don't see any area where we can find this kind of service. So where can our listeners find you online?
So the website is just thefirestone.org. You can also find the podcasts on Spotify, iTunes, and Podbean. But the Youth for Human Rights videos on each of the 30 human rights, my podcasts, and blogs, you can find at thefirestone.org. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's always really, really exhilarating to have you. Really. It's more than a normal, just asking for a normal career. It's beyond that. And it's the service we give to the world, as you say. Well, thank you so much, Ellen. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you, Marina.
All right. Have an awesome day. I love it, Ellen.
Thanks for joining us today on 10 Exit. Life and business as usual, never again. We love always hearing from you. Please feel free to send Marina an email, marina@marinasimonbrand.com. Your input and comments are always welcome, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you like the podcast, you can always subscribe to it. Remember, the best way to predict the future is to create it.